Now that we've established our posture and we've established our pivot, we could dive into the nitty-gritty of the golf swing and talk about our positioning. David Lebeter came up with these 11 positions in our golf swing so that we can check ourselves to make sure that we are creating positions that are going to help us create an athletic movement through the ball and hit golf shots as efficiently as possible. The first one that we create is just in the setup. Link 1 is our setup. So just a quick reminder, when we set up, our body line is going to be parallel to the target line. Our shoulders are going to be slightly open. Our balance is going to be really important to establish an athletic and dynamic posture. And we want that in the balls of our feet. And if you are using a camera down the line, which is the angle that you're on right now, if you can draw a line from your tricep through your knee to the ball of your foot in posture, you know you're in the right spot. All right, let's go to link 2. So going from link 1 to the setup, we're going to now go to link 2, which is if we start in our setup at 6 o'clock on a clock, we're just going to go to 8 o'clock. So it's literally this move. Ready? Woo, it took a lot of energy. So basically what it is just getting the club head moving a little bit. What I like to tell people is this is really important to start the movement. If you get the first 2 or 3 feet correct, you're kind of setting up your foundation for the rest of the backswing. So it's important to know, especially when I tell junior golfers, is that your body creates a Y with the club. So Y with your arms. And the first movement is just maintaining that Y, but going a little bit back. So just that movement. My hips aren't really turning yet. My torso turns a little bit. The butt of the club is still pointing at my belly button. The club did get a little bit closer to my body, but it's not here. I still have that extension of my arms. So if I show you from this angle, everything is still maintained. I haven't moved from my setup position in terms of my feet or my hips, but if you can maintain this position, it's going to make the rest of the link significantly easier. So let's go to link 3. Link 3, we're basically just going to go from the 8 o'clock position to 9. So this to this. Now I didn't have a whole lot of body movement, but there is a little bit. And you're going to notice a hinge in the wrists. You're going to notice if I go from this angle, if I drop the club, I could shake somebody's hand and the palm runs down my body line or runs parallel to the target line. So that's a good check to make sure that you have the right hinge and you're in the right position. So just a little bit of weight transfer back onto that right side, a little bit of turn, but not much. This is mostly a wrist action right here. Okay? Now let's go to link 4. This is the link that a lot of coaches will check. A lot of advanced students will check. It's a big one in the swing. So this is when our arm gets parallel to the ground. We do make more of a weight rotation. We have 75% of our weight on that right foot. Our wrists are hinged a lot more. We also, from this angle, we'll see that this club pretty much cuts through my right tricep. That means that the club is going up on a nice plane, a nice steep plane, getting ready to come back down a little bit more shallow. And now we're ready to get up to the top. Now let's get all the way to the top. So link 5 is movement to the top of the backswing. So we were here, and now we're just making more of a body rotation, keeping my left arm on my chest, and getting all the way to the top. We want that shaft pointing down, our body line parallel to the target line. We want to make sure that face is square. We want to make sure that this forearm is parallel to my spine angle. That way we can drop everything in nice and shallow and go through the ball. Once we have all that figured out, we can now bring it down. 6, we're going from the top of the backswing and we're starting the initial descent into the ball. So from the top of the backswing, this is it. So there are a lot of things going on right here. Number 1, our back is still to the target. really important. We're feeling these wrists still hinged. We're feeling this right elbow start to tuck into our sides a little bit. We're also starting to feel a little bit of a squat because we're going from that straight knee into a bit of a squat as we're going to transfer our energy from our right side to our left side through the ball. The shaft is also going to be starting on that backswing plane that we were on before. Now that we have these figured out, we can move on to the rest of the downswing. We're gonna go from this position here, and we're gonna bring the club parallel to the ground. You're gonna see that we're gonna make a 90-degree angle with our wrists. Although our weight is primarily still on our right side, it's gonna be in the inside of that right foot, getting ready to help rotate and push us off through the ball to the left. We don't want the club to be thrown. Once we are able to drop the club into here, we're going to be able to rotate through and really use that energy in our big muscles to fire through the ball. Our shaft is going to be parallel to the body line and the target line. And we're also going to see the toe pointed up at the sky. We're not going to see this. We're not going to see this. We're just bringing it down. So when it comes to link 8 impact, there are a lot of things that you can check. So here are some of the main ones. When you come to the impact position, first of all, your spine angle is going to be the same as it was in the setup. So we want to make sure that we return it the same. So if I set up this way, we're just rotating around that spine angle's axis. Secondly, and one of the most important pieces, is that our hands are going to beat the club head. This is important because first of all, our clubs are built this way on purpose. If you sit your club down on a flat surface, you'll notice that the shaft leans towards the target. And it's designed that way to help you hit down on the ball so that you can put spin on it appropriately and then you can hit it towards your target. We're also going to notice that this left wrist is flat and this right elbow went from a more tucked position to straightening out with that club with the palm of the hand pointing towards the target. If we go down this angle, what you're going to notice is that my hips are about 45 degrees open. I'm pushing off the inside of that right foot so that I can get the energy rotating and back into my left foot. My left shoulder is above my right shoulder. My left forearm is higher than my right shoulder. The shaft angle of the club is a little bit higher than it started at the impact. Perfectly normal. And one other thing that's important to note is that you want the face at impact to be a touch open, because the second that it hits the ball, it's going to be at the square position and you're going to get that straight ball that you're looking for. Other than that, let's go through the ball. All right, so link 2 and link 9 are very similar movements in that they're basically just a rotation. So we go from impact position to about 4 o'clock on the clock this time, and we're still maintaining that Y. There is a little bit of shaft lean, so it's not straight anymore, it's bent. We still get that flex in that wrist, and we're just making sure that we hold that face square through impact and past it, because what happens after the ball relates and correlates to what happens prior to it. So it's important that we get this as much as we get the whole backswing. Again, arms are still on the chest. We're still maintaining everything. All it is our head stays still and our body rotates through. Golf is a game of opposites, and so we had the left arm on this side parallel to the ground, and now the right arm is going to be parallel to the ground. Our wrists are going to be hinged. This left elbow tucks into the body. We're almost fully rotated in our golf swing and we're facing the target. Both of our wrists are going to be slightly cupped and we're ready to go to the finish. All right, here we go, the finish. So we fold up, we keep that right arm close to our body. Our left arm kind of folds up and becomes a support of the club. Our left thumb is underneath the shaft holding it up. Our bodies are even more upward, standing tall and facing the target. our right side of our body is actually closer to the target than our left side of the body. We have nice, athletic, balanced posture. And you did it. You hit a golf ball. So now you can take these 11 elements, these links, you can go onto the course, you can kind of assess for yourself. But overall, if you're a new golfer, don't dive too deeply into this. You know, don't put too much pressure on yourself to achieve all 11 of these. You know, start with the setup, start with the first few movements, links 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the rest are going to kind of follow along as you get better and as you practice more. But I hope this was helpful, and I had a lot of fun making the video. Thank you so much for tuning in.